Alright, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading in for trial number 1 of Sinners versus Ascent, with Ascent killing first on Larry's with the Wraith. And I'm your host, Little Real Guard, and joining me today is none other than longtime caster in front of the show. Colt, how you doing, friend?
I'm doing just great, and I can't wait. We have started the weekend, and I'm so ready for it right now for it, especially on this first match.
You say that, my body is not ready because we've got a huge lineup of games this weekend. And speaking of lineup of games, we have a lineup of Claudette going to not die, dropping the pallet, moving along, holding W, and the Wraith is going to be in hot pursuit. Possible M1 coming in. Is it going to connect? Yes, it is. No window.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we were kind of hoping that they were going to do a little bit of window vault, but they psyched us, but not the killer. So that kind of helped out for them.
Absolutely. It looks like Ray checking a quick peek to see, and that will be pallet being dropped, taking no chances whatsoever. One thing that's interesting is that we're seeing is there's no Sloppy Butcher. In fact, not only is there no... I thought that they were going to force that just to try and get a blind, but no, not going to be the case. And that is going to be a basement hook coming in early on. Only 2 gens firing away at 50%. This is not the amount of gen pressure they were wanting, but also that corrupt intervention probably slowing them down quite a bit.
Yeah, it kind of looks like not Nancy, but Kate was trying to find another gen possibly during that time. We'll go with
Very
that.
possible.
Yeah.
Yep, opting to
Just
keep
that.
in.
Oh, nice.
I say
That's Dragon Script.
Yeah, Dragon Script going off, but Wraith not caring too much, instead wanting to come in and try and body block this Survivor, and it looks like they will. They get the hit on the Survivor and the body block for the time being. Is Claudette blocked enough? Perfect timing for waiting for the bar time to clock out, and that is going to be a second hook coming in. Doing a quick look-see. Seeing the flashbang, but
Nice.
No.
Got 2 downs with a little bit of eruption too.
Yeah, a bit of eruption. This game is not the start they want to see. This might... They need to send a Survivor over here ASAP to pick this up, because if both these Survivors go down and in basement, you might be lights out pretty early on. However, Stars are going to take their time and try and finish 2 gens potentially. It looks like Ray, however, is going to go over and stop one of them from popping. Hearing both of these go, though, this killer has a lot of pressure for this early in the game. There's no gen pop yet.
No, there isn't. Oh, it's time to play. That's fair. Just trying to see which one it is. Wait, did they get... Oh, they did get someone back up.
Yeah, they did get the pickup in the meantime. Wraith coming back, touching the gen. Dragon's Grip being hit and called out, but I imagine that was intentional, trying to get some pressure off. But yeah, these Survivors do need to finish these gens at some point, but they also need to get the person out of the basement. I'm wondering if they're just going to let the person die in basement, as there's not much they can do here, I think.
I think that's literally what's about to just happen for it.
That generator is going to run out of kicks at some point.
Oh, yeah. I'm just... Oh.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. They're trying to wait for the last second. But however, there's going to be an unhook coming in. They do get the tag across the pallet. They win the 50-50, but I believe there's going to be someone unhooking momentarily, as we did see that vault notification above. And yeah, Survivor's trying to be a little bit greedy there, trying to force the... Wow, they're actually going to let them die in basement. I'm not really sure what that was. Maybe it was a failed skill check. No! They were resetting this whole time.
Oh. Nice fake out with Kate now. Nope. Didn't give them much distance.
They're still exposed from Dragon's Grip.
I forgot how long that lasts.
Yeah, the buff and updating the time is kind of insane. First gen going down, second gen happening, but that is going to be a pain resonance hitting it, which means it's not going to be finishing anytime soon. Is it Wraith most likely going to come over here and stop it? This is an incredibly dominant performance from the Wraith so far. Getting stuck on that.
Yep.
Getting into nothing there. One thing to remind y'all, folks, is that this is South America to North America ping, so there is going to be quite a bit of ping discrepancy here coming in. As I do... Fun fact that people will love to take note of is Jason here that we're spectating on Ace. They are known that their base ping is somewhere between 150 and 200 to their own servers.
Ah, interesting.
Actually, in that amount of time, Bang was able to finish the generator. But yeah, this is going to be a very difficult match going forward, as the Survivors have... This has not been a great start in the slightest.
No, it hasn't, and it looks like they're going for the save now. Question is just, are they going to be able to? Oof.
Ooh, great. Oh!
Oh!
A's coming in with a perfectly timed 5-second stun, breaking them out of the cloak. Is exactly what the Kate needed to get out of dodge because they were in a corner.
Yeah, they were. I was just trying to see where he's going to be going off to. Because right now, the only one that's with a hook is going to be...
Another.
Nope, never mind.
These stuns are egregious.
Yeah, they are.
But Survivor is desperately needing those to just try and keep things going. One thing I'm noticing is if the Survivors are able to get away and reset, they actually have a good advantage here potentially. But the problem is that I think Wraith is going to keep track of at least one at all times. Yeah, and so getting someone reset in this amount of time is going to be very difficult. There's the vault, but they have a very safe paladin that's going to force the Wraith to break. No, they're going to vault, try and push them away, but yeah, this is not safe. Yeah, especially with that ping, you're not going to get that block.
Yeah, they're going to kind of have to be a little bit...
that was a great grade.
I did not know he did not break that one. Did keep him away a little bit distance, but now I think they've wasted too much time on some of the gens to be progress.
If they're doubling a gen, they might be able to finish it, but I think they might be soloing their own.
Oh.
Yeah, but say Wraith getting a great body block there, and that's going to be a multiple eruption proc. Wraith not seeing the gen or the sight of Ace is probably just going to go straight for the hook here.
Yeah. We also made... I think that's going to be
Is going to be a pain res. Ace already rotating around for the unhook very quickly. I think they might just go for the insta pick. Yeah, they will.
Yep.
Question is, they're not going to go for the Fang in the tunnel. They're going to go for Ace instead. Try to get it. They're going for the long game here. They're going for Ace, saying, "Hey, you know what? If I can get this Survivor to be injured, at that point, there's no decent way." Especially with Sloppy, it's impossible to reset seemingly against Wraith. But without it, they have a chance. But Wraith is really good at pressuring macro.
That is true. Just the only thing is just I don't know. Just try to keep track of the other two, which I think they are kind of like you said earlier. They are working on gens separately for it, just to keep the distance.
Yeah, they're trying to reset under this God palette, but it's just not going to be enough. And yeah, dropping the palette, and they're running back into the map. Kate, however, seems to be the target of the Wraith's affection, saying, "Yes, I want you dead in particular." No, they're gonna actually leave her Fang after all. There's so few resources left in the middle of the map now. They've been taken away.
Yep. Ooh.
No back vault, and good mind game coming in from the Wraith, and it looks like they will get Fang after all. Eruption procking. Ace only 50% of the way on a generator. That is a very large...
It is. They're more of a perpendicular Wraith.
A bit.
Let's see what
That second hook coming in for Fangman. I'll be completely honest, and I've said this before, and it's bitten me. I don't know how the Survivors get a second generator, or a third generator. Like, you hooked near a generator already.
Yeah.
We saw the other progress that Kate was making. There's not a lot left. Like, this is going to be a very tough game to pull back.
It is. Maybe he's going to be able to get to... Oh, there's the Ace.
Yeah, Ace wants to take Chase here because they want to give Kate as much time to try and finish a gen in the meantime. And even if they take Chase next to Hook, Wraith loves this pressure, but literally the Survivors need a gen.
Yeah, they do. Ooh. Getting that one hit for them. Just trying to see. Yeah, Kate has to be working on a gen then. Just leaving the... Ooh.
They are, and they will, for their effort, get a third generator done. Wraith knows this, and now is going to be going for the pick. At this point, it's effectively 4K2, but... Ooh, they say, no, you know what? You're close enough, I think. You could try and hide and do hatch here. That actually might be a strat.
Yeah.
Try and deny a couple hook stages and, get 3 gens done and then try and, get someone out. I don't know. Honestly, again against Wraith, it's very swingy on this map. Sometimes I've seen... I don't think I've seen a result this crazy good for the killer. I've seen a couple of 4K1s. Usually it's,
Okay.
you know, a 5k 0 or 4k 0 and then, you know, sometimes like 2 or 3 stages escape. But this is a very brutal. And again, it could be that cross ping coming into play, but this
Very
really looking
interesting to
around
see the
desperately.
list. Oh, there's there's Ace. I was like, wait, what was it crawling?
Yeah, they're just chilling, they're crawling. Again, ideally, if you're the ace, maybe try and hide yourself to the point of bleed out. I need to double check.
I was about to say, how does
Has
that work with
Ace been
points?
hooked yet?
I don't think so.
If Ace hasn't been hooked yet, that does represent a potential fresh hook, in which case, them bleeding out, you'll still get the hook stages, it'll still be 12 stages, but you won't have a fresh, which gives the killer the slightest bit of leeway. But again, asking your Wraith to be like, hey, can you like 4k2 against this team? Like that's not a great win con to try and go for. That's rough for your killer.
Yeah.
Which, if I have to guess, I would guess that Jason will be killing, but they might have another person playing.
Oh, is it a mirror match then?
Yes, it is. Oh yeah. Maybe you might have missed the meeting and memo. The games are all mirrors from here on out. We have
Oh,
adopted the
okay,
mirror
nice.
policy.
Love some good mirrors sometimes. Try to see which one's best
It is
or better.
It is something of a like Codef has always been not, you know, mostly done mirrors only on both teams agreeing that they wanted mirrors. We've enjoyed the diversity of seeing this killer versus this killer, but given the times and given that Kate was doing a gen this whole time. What an absolute what a unit.
What a gamer.
Now the question is if they are able to find Ace or not. If Ace bleeds out, again, full points, but you don't get the stage.
Don't. That's true. Oof. Just, yeah, this is going to be literally just trying to find him. Just definitely, if you have good headphones, you could definitely.
It's a bit difficult sometimes, I'll give it. Honestly, I feel like you need good headphones and equalizer and then maybe some audio software to try and filter it out, because there's a lot of,
Background noise, yeah,
there's just a
especially
lot
in
of
this
ambient
map.
noise in the game, yeah. Not to mention that you can sometimes have, like, audio. Yeah, the killer thought that they were right there. They must be on the other side. And the question is, are they able to uncloak and pick them up in time? They clearly hear them. Oh, they hear the other side. They hear Kate.
Oh.
That is going to be... Yeah, I do believe Jason was never hooked this game, so that will be a fresh stage loss to the killer, but ultimately it is still an insane win condition. Like 4k2 4k2 with Wraith on Larry's is an insanely strong showing from the killer.
Yeah, it is.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading in for trial number 2 of Ascent versus Sinner. It is the return of the Wraith on Larry's, and SMSFR has some work to do, as 4k2 is the tie condition, 4k3 is the win con, and 4k1 is a loss. There is the saving grace of there was a fresh bleed out previously, so there is that to take into account. But regardless, Emmy, how do you feel about not seeing gens in white?
Oh, it sounds like a good challenge to deal with, but also time for a zoomy Wraith for sure.
Yeah, I'm hit or miss on this map with Corrupt Intervention. Corrupt Intervention's not bad on this map by any stretch, but this killer obviously does need to pack a bit more punch. He needs to really slow the game down, stall it out, and I think this build might just do the trick. Sloppy Butcher is going to do some serious work. However, this thing dropped already. That is going to be a very generous tag.
Yes.
Again, kind of seeing that thing we had talked about before.
There's the ping. There's the connection.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was nice, so for it. Looks like they are just leaving that, and of course doing that play where just trying to get everybody hit, just slow down the health progress for them.
Spreading it out just a little bit, and yeah, I imagine Felix gonna run to the back of this. Makes sense. Or this still might be a tag. Yep, still gonna be a tag, as Zappies will take a hit going to the side of the center. Wraith going to continue pursuit. They actually healed Claudette from that first hit, surprisingly. They will go for the second double tap. Seeing Survivor might have been here, looking around. Someone in the wing. Doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, they're just gonna be sitting up on gens, and that does make sense. You definitely want to hit gens. Your win con is very achievable here, but that is going to be first hook coming in for the killer. A pain res coming in hot as well. You could probably hit Angel's gens. Yep, we see the sparks flying as they are able to correct it. See them actually coming in, going to be kicking the generator. Pop goes the weasel, popping it. Probably, I'd imagine going to go right back to your hook, but
one would think that, but I think they're just trying to get more damage and hits again. Ooh,
yep. Oh,
nice.
that is a nasty pallet on the side. These two pallets are disgusting.
Yeah, they are. Hopefully they just kind of keep that in their pocket just in case of the last run for it. Oh.
There's the unhook. Now the question is, looks like Felix saying, let's go, buddy. Let's rumble. Oh, get the body block, though. Felix has to be careful. Has to hold that perfectly, and they do, and they will still be able to get away.
Oh.
And in a miss. Imagine we'll see the break here, and they might actually go back to pressure the gen. No, they're going to stay hot on Felix here, but Felix has lots of resources left. You could even not drop that and just hang it. You got a survivor in the wing. They're not going to. They're going to waste as much time as possible. You're not going to be able to get the body block here. Great pathing from the survivor. And this might be a down, though.
Yes.
Yep, there's the down. There's the eruption. Question is, what is the gen progress? There's one gen. We see note halfway on their gen, as Claudette is about 4th on theirs. Survivor coming in. That's going to be a second hook, but it's not a pain res.
Oh, but keep in mind they do have that pop, and they got that belly out of that one. Let's kind of get that progress. So the next thing is just, well, at least now you have that hook and that most completed gen together.
Yeah, that is a good setup for the killer, but they're going to need a lot more. Now, to be fair, this killer's playing a lot more aggressively on that tunnel. Yeah. We'll see how it pays off for them as, again, not that the previous killer really got to tunnel anybody because they just kind of died in basement, but.
Yeah. I think they the survivors kind of saw what they're dealing with, and they just kind of have to rush through those gens right now.
Yeah, it looks like Angel Madden in the wing will be going in for that unhook as the killer. He is going to actually possibly intercept them here. Ooh. Yeah, I think they smell the survivor coming. Yeah, they see the scratch marks. They'll actually push them off, which means that I don't think you can save this. I think you can actually body block this entirely. Yeah. You need 2 people to save this. Yeah, this survivor's dying. They can't. They need to bring another person off the generator, and they're calling it. They're like, yeah, I can't get this guy off the hook. They're gonna die. That is huge for this killer. Now the problem is though, if they don't get this double tap though, that gen's gonna fire, and that is going to be the tie condition. So the killer might be able to hold the tie. Can they keep it though?
Oh, that's a good question on that.
Yeah, here's the win. That's the tie condition. Technically, yeah, actually, survivors here. Now that I think about it, because they had trying to bait it, but not able to. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. That I'm not even joking. That fresh hook stage might come to fruition here. Because if this killer 4Ks by ensuring that everyone gets hooked. Yeah, that's actually, they can still technically win this. That is a crazy thing to think. Actually get the blind. Oh, running into the wall. Yep, that is the power of flashbang.
Yep, gotta love that.
However, also worth noting, those gens on the other side are actually kind of close together. So it's going to be a little bit easier to protect them. They do get the reset onto Claudette in the meantime, though. My goodness,
kind of going back to, that's what they were at.
Yep, which tells you exactly where the Claudette was as well, since you know they were resetting. Surprised that they weren't trying to press. That might have been a head-on play, if I had to guess. But
so?
Yeah, usually when you're looping around lockers, it's usually a head-on setup, but it might have been bait.
Yeah.
That was a slow ball somehow. That was unfortunate. Ooh. Wait, they're about to finish a gen. I didn't even realize there was another gen firing this whole time.
Oh, yeah, there was.
Wow. Never mind. That will be Ascent taking trial number or set number 1, as I didn't realize they had another gen that they were able to fire away on like that. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. It was just a corrupt intervention. Maybe would have helped. I don't know.
It's hard
It's always
to say.
second guessing on that.
Yeah, the first 2 gens weren't firing nearly as quickly, but it might have helped. It's hard to say. I think Eruption, honestly, the killer's perks did a lot of work. Maybe, honestly, Sloppy was the perk they got the least value out of. Maybe Sloppy for Corrupt might have been the choice. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this Survivor is demon pathing right here.
Yeah, she is. So. Wait, did I?
Yeah, they got a little bit of uppies on that hook right there on the collision.
Yeah. I thought at first it was Nicolas Cage's perk for a second. I was like, wait, are they running?
Oh, dramaturgy? I don't think there's many, if any, exhaustion perks allowed. Generally not. Generally it's like I think even Smash Hit might not be allowed. I could be wrong.
Ooh.
But Champion of Light slowing the Wraith down just a little bit more. With Champion of Light, the slowdown on Wraith form, they're actually almost 150.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it slows them down quite significantly for a little bit. They do go down under the pallet, though. And I imagine Survivors might once again be doubling on a gen. No. It looks like they were, but it looks like Coletta is going to be sneaking off to the side. Rotating around for the unhook. Hoping they don't get caught, as their scratch marks will be visible for quite a bit of time. If the Wraith is able to find them. Looks like they did find the Nancy working on Generator instead, able to apply a pop and eruption to it. That means Claudette will be able to get the... Oh! Second stun coming in for Wraith. Yeah, Claudette's going to be able to get that unhooked.
This is going to be the quick heals or... Oh.
Trying
to cut them off? Okay. They were trying to cut them off. I was like, wait, what are they doing?
Trying to get this get the cut off. They do take a tag. We see scratch marks coming in as well. They want to rotate to work on that gen, and the Wraith does see that. We'll be able to actually intercept. Looks like I found Claudette. So here's the thing. The Wraith can still 4K1, so they've got a really close win con still. But at the end of the day, it's still just not quite going to be enough. Again, it's crazy. Like, 4K1 is still a very good result. It's just the previous game, the Survivors, that basement hook was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like this gen is just barely getting by. Again, the 3v1 game split out a little bit, but Survivor's still doing a really good job regardless.
They are. Just keeping a little bit of a distance through it and running.
Say,
they haven't
you don't even
reset,
have to
though.
Go for that window. You can just hug the corner and go around to the other window. I think that window almost always spawns right there. I don't know how many games I've played where I don't see that window.
Oh, that's fair.
Doorways are unfortunate.
Yeah.
And again, you have that insane window loop right here. Pallet is gone though, so this is good. Oh, but this pallet's not nearly as up. Oh, they take the long side, so that's gonna be the way you go. I think it's coming in, and that will be enough to get him.
Ooh. Nice.
Like the stars are going for a reset in the meantime as we see Ja getting healed. First they're coming in onto Nancy. And this point they got all their fresh hooks. Is just Survivors knew the win condition, went doubled up a gen during that chase. And Ascent playing very well today.
Yeah, they are. I think it's just trying to find a full... Oh, never mind.
Yeah, looks like they do find him after all. Not able to block him off, though. Now, do they hold it? No, they don't, but that will be a tag. As again, it's a mid-vault, but it's also, you're probably playing like 150, 170 ping.
Yeah.
So that's going to connect most of the time. Survivors know it. Oh, getting the body block, but again, it doesn't matter because some of these windows are just absolutely S tier.
Yeah, they are.
Question is, where is... Oh, there's the Survivor. It looks like they're going to be not going for the reset, instead running back into the map. We see the Wraith in front of them as they get hooked. Nancy reconsidering their options as maybe not going straight ahead, but doesn't matter. Wraith sees them. Oh, they're not going to go for him. They did, and they might have been thinking, okay, that survivor's injured. I don't know. Again, it's neither here nor
Yeah,
there
it's
for the
hard
killer.
to
They want
tell.
the best possible result, but like they know they've not achieved it for the tie condition.
Just is hoping that at least they get all those hook stages, maybe.
Yeah, again, just trying to achieve the best possible win condition.
Ooh.
Swing and a miss. Laura doing some work. That might have been a situation where auto aim kicked in. I've had that a couple times. Where
Yeah.
if a survivor like runs into you, if you swing, it'll like cut your swing short. Right?
Really? Okay.
I'm not gonna go into it. There's a lot of things that are buggy.
No, that's fair.
Um,
Well, I heard a little bit of like the whole auto aim thing, which I did not know that was a thing, and I was like, oh, this explains a little bit of why I suck as a killer sometimes.
well, you see, you play on console, so it doesn't matter.
I don't even play on console. What are you talking about? Blasphemy.
That generator is about out of kicks here.
Yes.
Ooh, Claudette reversing back. These survivors are having some dirty 50-50s.
This is it. Oh, okay. I was like, I doubt that there was a pallet over there. Oh, you hear that?
Leaving Nancy on the floor, they suspect someone is on that far generator, and they are probably correct. I fully expect there's going to be someone in this corner. Yes, there is. Laura working on the generator. They still have access to plenty of resources here. Good hold from... Again, it's just some of the most demon pathing you could imagine coming in from these survivors.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I think she can see you.
Yeah.
They will, however... Oh!
Ooh.
Chemical trap?
Let's go.
Okay, these survivors are filthy. Survivor has chemical trap and champion of light. This survivor is an absolute demon.
They are a menace to the whole situation, and ooh.
Absolutely are. And we see another survivor coming over here to harass. I'm gonna guess that this means that the other survivor, Nancy, it is. So that probably means Claudette on the other generator as we speak.
Ooh.
Swinging into nothing, and that is going to be another hold. Killer is onto them by this point, though, and that will be a down. The question is, Claudette, are you... They are cranking away. They want this last generator. Killer knows it. Killer's cloaking up. It's now race of time. Is it going to be enough time? Resilience, 9% faster. Wraith's going to be uncloaking.
Oh.
4K1 will be the result, folks. With 99% on the generator.
Oh, and that was the one that was already at their last ends of being kicked.
Yep. Very well played to both of these teams, but ultimately Ascent will take victory in that number one shortly, as soon as the Wraith collects his injured survivors, puts them on the hook in a night orderly fashion. Moving on to set number 2. If I remember correctly, I think it's a bit of a repeat from what we had. I want to say it's going to be Doctor on Family Residence 2, which is what we had in the previous set, or in the previous game.
Shocky ducky. Let's go.
Vicinal versus Night Owls. Night Owls returning to Dakota for the first time in a hot minute. But regardless, I'm curious to see how these teams play it as, again, Doctor, especially with the way that the looping goes against a high ping killer. Gonna be kind of difficult. There's the Mori.
Ha.
Behavior, love your faces. Can we get an updated Wraith for Mori? Come on.
Yes, please.
Come on, you could do better than that. Come on.
Oh.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading in for trial number... Okay, Ace is a little bit confused there. Trial number 3. Doctor is in the house. Or the family doctor, you might even say, since we're on Family Residence 2. They caught everyone in that blast. Look at that.
It looks like everyone's up for their checkup now, for sure.
Absolutely. They found a couple survivors scattering them. Probably just, yeah, I say you might as well blast them up, get them to tier 2. Looks like survivors will be splitting up in the meantime, though, and we do see the corrupt intervention. Is that a split corrupt? I can't fully tell.
It kind of does, because I thought we saw...
Yeah.
Ooh.
A little bit of rapid brutality kicking in. As we talked about earlier in the previous match, rapid brutality, insanely good on the Doctor. Faking out the TNL, again, just really good mentality. Going to the corner. This is almost like identical to the previous game. Yeah, previous game, first chase went straight to the corner. And first hook will be coming in shortly. Question is, are they able to double up and finish a generator before this pain res comes off?
Oh, well, I think
they're tripling it.
Oh, okay.
My goodness.
Dang.
It was split seconds before. And yeah, that corner has like finding the hook next to it is like the closest hook is like really far away. It's really bad. That corner is awful. But first gen for first hook completed. No one in that blast, which means possibly in a locker. We saw a lot of locker play from our survivors previously. And nope, they just all spread out to different generators. Doctor looking around. Looks like Doctor wants to camp this to second stage. And I don't know if I agree with this.
Yeah, because it is.
They're gonna spread them on 3 different gens. Okay. Look, okay, the 3 gen that you have in the back. Okay, you're cooking.
But I beg to differ, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It might bite them. We'll see.
Yeah. Just trying to. I guess. Yeah, no one's gonna come after it. They kind of know what's going on. I guess.
Yeah, I was saying. Like, I think the killer is it's essentially a. What is it called? They have a name for it in chess.
Yes, because I remember playing chess.
They're going for a gambit here. They're saying, I'll let all of you finish 3 generators. Because that's what they're going to be doing. Never mind. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, we've got 2 different survivors coming in possibly for an unhook. No, Nancy got chased off of a generator. That's why. About to say, I only see 1 generator firing. And Doctor said, tell you what, you guys can do 3 gens. I want the second stage so they're easy to tunnel out. And then the servers are like, bet, we're only going to do 1 gen. The Doctor's like, this works for me.
It does.
Or the people coming in, though, going to make that tunnel out a lot harder as there is a healthy ace. However, Doctor still wanting it. All for naught. That's going to be a tag regardless. Jake coming in saying, no, don't hurt my friend.
Looks like they're just kicking in. Each other. Oh, this
dude, I hate
jungle part. Yes, same. But unfortunately, it's for both killer and survivor on my own because I can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's a bit of an annoying one. However, this is a good loop for the survivor. They can keep holding it, and as soon as here's what we see. As soon as we see that survivor getting ready to be in a pickle, Jake's gonna run in, take the body block, and that is why we have rapid brutality. That survivor doesn't get nearly as much of a bonus boost, and you've got the rapid brutality coming after, so they'll be 5% faster on this chase. That is what you use to catch back up to them, and that is what they're going to be doing. However, we might see another hit tank coming in. No, they get to the shack. That's not going to be in time.
Ooh.
Good read from the survivor. They're playing this super safe. And that is going to be a perfectly timed body and a chemical trap. These survivors are no joke. Yeah, Killer has to do it. There's the chemical trap. And I think it's even Champion of Light. No, it wasn't Champion of Light. Okay.
Is it? No, okay.
Okay. Still, though, they're making this absolutely insane. They're not letting this ace go down without a fight. Another gen pumping away. They desperately needed the server out of the game, and they're not going to get him.
I did not know they were.
Good read from both sides, though. Gonna take the tag. Ace is gonna keep running, but now Hanatsu is still healed and ready to go. They can come in and take a body block if they need to. Mind Game's coming in. That will be down.
There it is.
Hanatsu will finish the gen in the meantime, though, coming in and finishing Nancy. Yeah, but I say they're a demon with the flashlight. They have to be pushed away. What's the generator progress? Halfway! Doubling up together on it. They need the survivor out of the game. They need a pain resistance, and they need to stop this generator.
Yeah, they do. And it's just, okay. They found that. It's crazy that they were able to pump out 4 gens, though, through that whole chase and everything.
It is going to be enough to stop that generator from firing. And I think the killer, they still have that 3 gen. And the survivor's out of the game. Everybody's injured. And they finish it. No, they're going to abandon.
Yeah.
Is this Doctor going to somehow be able to get a 4K1 despite all this crazy pressure the survivors pulled off?
I mean, I'm hoping for it. I do love a good Doctor win. for it, regardless of what position they're
Yeah, I
in.
love Doctor games. They are super interesting. I think Gen will be regressing in the meantime, though. 2 regression events applied to it so far. And now I think the killer's looking around. We see the illusion in the back. I think we're checking to see if Nancy might have stuck out here. And I don't think they did. No, they're all across the map at Shack. They're going to be getting reset. All right, folks. Hope you got a drink. Hope you got something cozy because we're sitting in for the long haul here. This is going to be the 3v1 grind sesh. Doctor sees where the illusions are, too. They're going to be able to interrupt the full heal, I think. The blast coming in. All of them put into tier 3. However, they do finish the heal. And this pallet's down. They've actually got a... The Revs have to be careful. How did they... we heard the scream and they still... Man, they must have been... Like, that was a... They got vacuumed into that vault. That was ping.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my goodness, they held that vault. That is crazy. Also, that's a bug. That rock is not supposed to spawn into that eye.
Okay, that's what I...
Yeah, no, that's a horrible spawn. That used to be a bug, and I thought they fixed it. I guess it's back in the game.
Ah, yes. Gotta love bugs coming back.
Yep, Nancy's gonna take a tag, and looks like they're gonna be staying at Shack again, probably leaving one... I'm guessing Hanatsu back at the other Shack, or the other gen. No, Nancy's gonna go down here.
Oh.
Going into the corner. Are they doubling up on the gen? No, they never even got to go to the gen.
Okay.
However, that is gonna be hooked far, far away from the generator, which is what you want. You don't want to go down in your generator setup. And this is one of many hooks to come, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, they still have... They used one of their pain res, so it did. Probably brought it down to nothing, those 2 last
it's like
gens.
20%.
Yeah.
Looks like they find Hanatsu, though.
Oh, they haven't dropped that. They haven't broke that pallet. Okay.
It doesn't look like it. And I guess that technically the doctor doesn't have to. Ah, that would have hit me.
Yeah, same. I literally was just thinking that. I was like, yeah, and with my
I feel like this is an infinite. Are they bloodlusting this? Good raid, but that will be a down. And this is closer to your generator. Ooh. This is not what you wanted to give the killer. You are much closer to generator. They're going for the slug. They want to say, no, I think I can end this now. No, they just want to get... That is so smart. You're tagging Jake, ensuring that Nancy can't get a quick heal. You have to snap out of it in the meantime while you get this hook. That is some heads-up macro play from this killer.
For sure. I was bringing back the survivor to the gens at least.
Maybe they weren't in tier 3 after all. Okay, it's a visual bug. Jake is in fact not in tier 3. It is a spectator.
Yay. You gotta love it when that happens.
Yep. But again, that is a really, really bad hook for these survivors. And unless there's some crazy shenanigans here, this is possibly looking to be 4K1 for Sinner's Killer. Trevor is sneaking back for the unhook, though, so they will get it. Question is, can they get the survivor out of this gen setup? They're going deeper.
Oh. Back to the corner they go.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
No body block coming in just yet. And again, you have to remember, this is Doctor. These killers have a much stricter perk requirement. And so these, like, there's no exhaustions here. Like, it's pretty bare bones. Coming in. Okay, looks like they're trying to split up the gens a little bit, but I think, again, it's too far. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so they're going to be trying to split the difference here. I say you can harass this generator, keep Nancy off of it, and ensure that Jake can't get this very easily.
That shock, though.
Yeah. They're doing a really good job. However, Hanatsu here in a bit of trouble. Great mind game coming in, but they actually go for the shock anyway, and it doesn't pay off. I think Hanatsu dies here. No, they're going to go for the Jake slug.
But...
Oh my goodness, that's ingenious. Wait, does Jake represent a fresh hook? That's a pain res coming in. Nancy knows it too. They're leaving early. They're going to go reset Hanatsu.
I'm hoping for a reset, but I don't think they are.
Yeah, they were hoping for it. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So they're going to go over and work on the gen. Oh, they see both these survivors. Nancy will stop the gen from regressing, but we'll be in tier 3 soon.
I was about to say, is he healing? But I didn't think they were near.
Natu going and working on the main gen.
All right. Start to avoid that and just go straight. You said, you know what? It's time to work on a gen instead.
That
Playing
does
around
make a
with
lot
this
of
doctor.
sense. I'll say Nancy could come in at the last possible second and go in. Yeah, that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna come in at the last possible second.
Oh.
But now they're both stuck at the rock. Jake gonna be making their way out of it. They have a pallet over here. Built-in BT coming in. There's the flashbang. Not gonna get it though. Nancy will take a tag for their efforts. Gonna go ahead and drop and go back in. And all this time, Hanatu has time to work on the generator at main. Question is, does the killer register that that's what's happening? I think they're thinking maybe that that's the case.
Yeah.
Angel's going corner.
Okay.
Will be down. Nancy gonna go work on the gen. If these two gens are at 50 plus, yeah, the killer actually can't commit to that hook in the corner. Killer smells it too. They're saying, yeah, someone's at main. Great read. What? You can't... They're committing really far for this Nancy. This might spell disaster. I don't know if you can commit to this Nancy. I don't think the killer knows how much gen progress is on that middle gen at main.
They do, and
they're going to go for the pickup though. They don't go for the...
Okay.
Interesting. And this survivor's not yet dead. I don't know how I feel about committing to that chase, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that was too far for that, so that created some distance. And
I don't know if the killer's going to read that Nancy's on the... Okay, they do. They do read. They do realize the progress on this generator, and they do realize they need to kick it and stop it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, are they actually going for the bait of Jake screaming, or are they actually going to go into that other gen that actually has more progress?
Yeah, this is really grinding out. Survivors are ensuring that they use all these hook stages. Everyone running back to the same side of the map. Killer says, all right, time to break the pallet. One more blast for the road to get everyone in tier 3. Slow the game down a little bit more. Again, the macro use of the static blast has been very, very pristine this game.
Yeah, and it looks like... Oh, they're all actually...
Yeah, they're all in tier 3 at the moment. Jake running as much as possible to get as much time wasted. Both these survivors need to snap out of it. They do snap out of it. Now they need to go heal. And again, the survivors are maximizing their hook stages here, but this is the last time that this survivor can be hooked.
Yep. Going back via the entity.
And it is now a 9-stage game. Any hook now is death. And they haven't reset.
No, they haven't. I mean, they tried, but just with them going to tier 3, I think they couldn't go too much. Oh.
Read.
Little mind game right there with...
Yep, good read. This is a really good job at main, though. They're going to be able to loop this for quite a bit of time. Oh my goodness, Nancy's doing a phenomenal job pathing here. Okay, so here's the question. Are we going to see these other two heal up? Or are they going to go rush the generator to the side and try and finish it? Nancy forcing the pick. That tells me they are blasting away on it, and they will finish the 5th generator after all.
Go.
Which means I don't think they're going to be able to get stages out. Getting stages out here, especially with that 4% no-ed bonus, is a little bit out of the question. But finishing that 5th generator is going to be a huge boon for those survivors. It makes it much more plausible. Because 4K1 Doctor on this map is a pretty brutal result, in my opinion.
It is. And it's... I don't know if it's enough to be able to get him and get the other survivor. No, I don't think so.
Actually, that might have been long enough that they get this exit gate. No, they're hanging out. They haven't gone for it. They're out of the blast range, though, so the killer doesn't recognize they're here. Killer sees no progress on these exit gates. And they're not in tier 2. So that means that there's no illusion on them either. So this survivor is actually going to be able to stealth out.
Unless they stick around in the general area for them.
Right, right. have to wait and see. Yeah, they have to be careful because again, Doctor can find you out at a moment's notice. They can generally check the vicinity, but again, they also know that the survivor knows that. And we saw some games earlier. Doctors were checking lockers and actually almost picked a survivor out because they knew the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna go a little bit further in, deeper into the map. Use a blast. Oh, they caught them. That is going to be, 4K5 confirmed. Unless something crazy happens. Unless there's like, a pallet spawns here, they get the pickup, and they both go the separate ways, and they get it. Nope, that is going to be 4K. Yeah, 4K 0 for the killer. Really well played to both these teams. That is an interesting result.
Yeah, it is.
Going into Trial 4, that's going to be very, very split. I'm very curious to see how they're going to respond. Yeah, here's another tile where the rock spawns into Yamoka. Like, that was a really old bug. I'm surprised that's back. But regardless, very impressive showing. And I don't know.
Get ready for the next one. I was about to say.
Yeah, it is quite curious, but regardless, we will see in just a moment what the next trial will bring again. Stick around, folks, to these ads. It helps out a lot on the back end. We appreciate it. Back to Season 12. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading back in for trial number 4. And a much better Corrupt this time, as Angels has a tough win condition to meet, I would say, personally. But you know what? That's what we're here to see. And they see a totem. They were on totem. And this killer said, get off my totem.
Yeah, they did. Oh, my gosh.
Very quick one.
Unfortunately, got my luck with it. Always hoping that no one sees the totem, but everybody sees the totem.
Dude, I'm telling you, totems are such like I understand they're supposed to be high risk, high reward, but it really just feels like high risk, no reward if I'm being honest. But maybe that's just, personal bias. Regardless, Jake's personal bias is going to the corner and saying, please stop shocking me.
Do you think that was it up there?
Yep.
Ooh,
and they will trade a hit for a totem, and that is one perk out of the game. We see Rapid Brutality kicking in. And Speed first are coming out. Again, a very quick chase in the beginning, so Corrupt Intervention not really doing much of a thing either, if we're being honest. This is not the cleanest start you would hope for, I would say.
No, but at least they were able to take care of one thing. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, everybody able to pop out, get to a different generator. So, I mean, again, nothing is certain. Game could certainly swing either way, but this is... It is an early hook for a Doctor, and it is a basement hook, and this Doctor can really harass. Again, very heads-up play from Angels, checking lockers, knowing that if someone rotated around, they'd be in a locker. But it looks like instead they're just working on that central gen, and that is the gen to break.
Yeah, it is.
Bit of a fortune on main side. Like Claudette will get pushed away early, though.
Wait, was that? No, that wasn't. Never mind.
And they will take a tag early as well, running back to the side of the map where they were doing the generator.
Let's go. I mean, they were able to get a little bit of a distance with that, but with brutality, that gives you kind of a catch-up with it.
Just a little bit. Yeah, no body blocks coming in. Ooh, good mind games coming in. Claudette holding W, though. They're going to all be at basement here in a second. I'm not sure if they meant to do that.
I don't
was in
think
a bit
so.
Of a weird spot. I mean, only one server is working on gen right now, so the killer should be very happy with the result. And yeah, gonna be going straight after the Jake one, get him out of the game as soon as possible. Holding W, holding around the side. This Jake's doing a great job. However, Bang will be coming in for the body block. First gen does go down. I think they might just going back for the slug here.
I think that's for the best for them, but yes.
Oh, Fang's going corner. No Sloppy Butcher to be seen. And it looks like Jake's actually far away from the slugs. Bit of a stressful moment for our survivors. Might have been caught unawares. Okay, they get the pickup. This is interesting. Also, I hate this spectator perspective from the Doctor seeing this thing across the face.
Yeah, I'm like, is that something new? I was like, no, this is...
Yeah, it's this cosmetic. There's just lightning across the Doctor's face, and so it actually renders on the camera for some reason.
That's great.
We might have to talk about maybe not allowing that skin because, yeah, this is, like, super obnoxious.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Colada trying to help out Fang, but not going to happen. Fang's just got to go to the corner. Looks like they'll be securing a second generator in the meantime. Unless they're able to get a Scourge hook and stop it. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't
They need resets,
so.
though.
Oh.
There is a pain res.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's just a constant static effect on the screen. Very obnoxious. I mean, it looks like the servers are actually doubling up on this gen. They recognize that this is one of the gens to break. Another gen's 50%, so they will be scattered away. They're playing very risky by not getting healed.
Yeah, they are. Oh, all of them are actually injured. Okay,
Yeah, they're
I
all
thought
healed.
at least
They're
one
all injured.
was
It's
fully
bad.
Good.
This is a much stronger tile, though, for the survivors to try and loop on.
It is.
We're going to see them double back.
They just might.
Oh, my goodness. Great mind games coming in from the survivor. They actually get the drop on it.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, they will go down after Panic Pulp, but they do finish a second generator. Heals coming in. Looks like they are going to be double resetting in the meantime. So I imagine we're going to see Claudic go and join that reset momentarily. No, Kate going to join the reset.
Okay.
And I do believe, yeah, these guys are going to finish each other. Yeah, they got the resilience value going 9% faster on the heal. Yep, you're going to top off. And then Kate's going to just have to remain injured. That is second hook for Jake. They're going to be holding on. So Survivors did a little bit of time to reset. They've got a little bit more pressure back in their corner because of it. But you still got a Survivor on hook. You've got to go get the on hook. Looks like they will be going for it. Yeah, they will get it in time, but it's also going to come with the downside of this Claudette has to babysit this Jake. For the people!
Oh, let's go.
Great for the people value. Claudette going to be going corner, but no, they want the Jake instead, and that is going to be Jake going in the chase of their life, desperately trying to get out of dodge away from this area. But again, no exhaustion perk, nothing for them. And I think they're trying to make it up to Gazebo. There's a good pallet for them. I don't know if it's a good jungle gem. Or maybe just trying to come in for a body block of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think all of the rest of the survivors are actually working on gens just to get that occupied.
Maybe. We got one person halfway through a gen. Looks like they might be doubling up. No, they're No. Oh, they got two separate gens. Okay.
Yep.
And I believe this has already had a pain res. Now the question is, so these two likely can finish their generator?
Hoping so, but we'll see.
Oh, they're both going to be put into Madness Tier 3, though. But that does let Fang work on their generator. So that looks like they're going into the 3v1 with almost 3.5 generators worth of progress. As long as they play this correctly, they should be able to get the Fangmans done. And they also, Claudette should be able to loop a rack around to work on that gen again. Kate is full healed, so this chase can last a little bit longer. Really good use of the long wall tile here, the junk tile. And yeah, Claudette right back on that generator. Fangman finishing the main building gen, but Claudette is going to be pushed off of the generator. They work out in the meantime, going back to Shack. I think, honestly, they would gladly take a basement hook here because they can't actually camp it. Yeah, looks like they might be leaving to go back.
No.
No, they want to kick it.
It's gonna be a little bit harder to get this.
Yeah, but I think they're happy to go to basement here. We hear Kate working on the generator. They know what's gonna be coming. There's the blast tier 2 coming in for Kate. Doctor will once again kick that generator. Looks like Fangman in the meantime will be working on a separate gen. This is gonna be Claudette's first hook. And it looks like they're actually committing to the Kate.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. I think they recognize they can't really afford to hook that basement hook because it's just not gonna work out for them. Instead, you work on this. You got slug pressure over there. Your generator's also regressing in the same area, so you know that's going down. Phenomenal job. Ooh, they got caught off there, though. That will be a hit. It looks like Fang was having to leave off to go after it. And I think the Doctor even sees it. Yeah, I think Doctor will be able to cut them off from going to get that pickup. Means they know where every survivor is. This is a really close game.
It is. Well, I don't think they saw them, actually. Did they?
They're in the vicinity. We can hear the heartbeat.
Yeah, the heartbeat. Yeah.
Breaking down the door. Yeah, they are here. And they're actually picking up on Fangman's gen, it looks like. Fangman thinking about going in for that pickup, but is going to hold off for it.
They realize
the
the situation.
Long Wall.
Yeah.
Four-lane, I should say.
Ooh.
Holding through on it. And going back into the map. This is where it gets dangerous. However, Kate is going to be able to finish that gen very shortly. The question is, can Fangman make this chase last long enough? They've done a really good job up to this point. Oh, they got caught, though. And I think that's going to be enough to get the Fang down. Oh, my goodness, they held it. Did they make it back around for the vault?
They shouldn't, but they... Oh.
Yeah, they go down, but they do get the pickup in the meantime. There is going to be the 4th gen firing. Doctor's going to leave them slugged under the under the pallet, and that is 4th generator. I think they're going to try and get a set on one of them. They will be. The Doctor's going for the hook. That generator in the back has regressed to almost 50% or less. Oh, this is going to get really, really close. Because the gen, I think the gen situation is completely split. I think it's a 2-in-1 split.
Yeah. I think there's one closer to them right now where they're...
Yeah, there's one. Okay, it's a bit more in the middle, so it's not the worst, but this is definitely not... This is not holdable for Doctor, necessarily.
No.
But in a 2v1 here, maybe. Reset
Just
will come
maybe.
through.
There they are.
Yep. Blast coming in, putting them both in tier 2. Trying to get a tag or two onto Kate. Not going to be able to get one.
Yeah. Just trying to decide which one to get so they could cut off a little bit.
Yep.
Ultimately, they're trying to get that save, but
do
they have enough time?
The thing is, though, you gotta sneak someone back here to make them think about it, and then you have to have someone working on a generator. Okay, they are gonna be coming in for the double save, but coming in, getting the unhook, taking a tag. Rapid Brutality gonna be kicking in, not getting much of a boost in distance. But it is going to be going down here momentarily, and they do represent a pain res potentially. Rapid Brutality showing a ton of value here. I think you do have to go for that pickup, as there are 4 fresh hooks in the previous round, so you do need your freshes.
Yeah.
And I think Kate will say a pain res, and we pushed off of that generator. Both these servers are injured, so they're going to need a reset. This is going to be tough to claw back from. I think survivors could potentially do it, but this is going to be difficult. Kate's being really aggressive with this positioning.
They are. It's up to the Doctor to decide who to get. Go after the Fang or the Kate.
Be really difficult. Again, Fangman, we do see working on that generator. Doctor has chosen to take the chase, though.
There you go.
Deciding that there's enough momentum, and again, you know the positioning of all the survivors, and the looks like we're watching also off to the Fangman, it looks like. Being Kate to go after for the unhook. Yeah, they've got this situation where the Doctor's just at a choke point enough where they can go back and still harass this generator.
Mm-hmm.
This will be tough. This is going to be very tough for the survivors.
The only thing they have is... It's just hard to tell where... Wait, where does the Fang go?
Fang snuck around. They're setting up for an unhook, but I think second stage will be confirmed here. Yeah, it will be.
Yep.
They also might be sneaking around to try and do the generator. No, they went for the unhook after all. You're going to have to hope that Claudette is able to body block enough here. All right, Fang does get back behind the shack. Body block's coming in. Phenomenal. Oh, and they go for the break, too. That means they actually get away. They actually get out of the side of the map here.
Yeah.
Wow.
it's just a straight reset then for them
Yeah.
if they can.
And smartly, Survivor's staying back there saying, hey, you know what? You can't leave me entirely. You've got a generator back here too, buddy. This is quite interesting. However, this is going to be really tough to loop. The Survivor essentially has to make a really powerful loop out of it at Shack. Dude, these Survivors are playing so incredibly well despite... Again, Angels put them in a very dire situation. Angels, again, they got a totem cleanse early on. The game's been kind of slighted against them from the beginning, and they're putting up a heck of a fight.
They are. They said, you know what? It's not how we're going to go down that easily at all.
Right. I'm wondering if Cade's here. No, it's Fang. Fang giving themselves up, which means Cade's working on the generator. Going down into the corners. This will be Death Hook. Does this mean that Claudette's going to go join and do the generator? 8 a ways away. I think they can double up and finish it.
Yep.
You see that mending bar ticking down in earnest. The last gen will complete. The question is, can you get the exit gate open and get someone out?
That is only... Ooh.
They aren't able to finish it!
No.
Claudette can't finish it because she's mending, and then Kay was in tier 3.
Ooh.
Oh my word, what a blast! Doesn't mean they can't finish it, but it means that Claudette has to, you know, get out of mending. And Claudette's actually in this really important situation. She's gone down so far in the mending bar, we might see the scenario where if she vaults enough, she's not actively holding the sprint button, and you lose a little bit of mending every time you vault. And, okay, it looks like he's going to leave her alone for long enough, but oh my goodness, this is so intense. Both survivors able to take a chase long enough to get away from that generator. But the question is, at that point, are you able to get, like, are you able to stealth out? Are you able to, like, that's going to be so tough.
I think you could just get away with Claudette not working on a gen at all, because I think she is at the point where if she even tries to do anything with the gen, or even kind of...
Ooh, swing and a miss. But I say, we haven't seen them finish the mend yet, which is really weird. Okay, they finished the mend.
She just did. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was about. Okay, it looks like they were able to stop the gen from regressing, but that gen is no longer firing on all cylinders. All right, here comes the blast. That should put Claudette into tier 2. Oh, that's what it was. She was in tier 3. I forgot. Okay, so what happened used to be is, like, if you were in tier 3 and needed to mend, you would actually go down, but I think the mending bar pauses now if you're in tier 3.
Oh, okay. That's
I
what I
forgot
was...
about that. I was about to say, like, that.
That's
Yeah,
what
the
I was
mending bar is not
expecting
really doing anything, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Right now they're working on this gen, but now you come to the other situation again. You have gens on the opposite side.
You do.
Oh, this
So
is so
just seeing
intense.
if they're actually... But I mean, that would be the only one that has the highest, more progress than anything right now.
I mean, a gen only takes 90 seconds, and if you're cat and mousing another gen, keeping it from regressing and keeping the killer on their toes, at some point... Okay, there's the tier 3. Gonna give them enough time to go and try and search for this gate a little bit longer than what they've been doing. No, K came back to this gen to try and stop it from regressing, but wasn't enough. As instead running back into the map. The question is, can the killer commit long enough? I think you can get enough time out of a palletless shack, but we'll have to see if they're able to. Running back up into the map though, back to jump tile. This is what your 1v1 trading is for. Nerves are high. Shock's coming in. Going around the long side of the pallet. Killer has to break off to check the gen. Ooh. And rightfully so. However, there's it's only 3 pistons firing. But again, you've got to keep doing that. And these survivors are keeping the game up just long enough. Again, she's now in tier 3. She has to break out of tier 3. The cycle continues. But at some point, either you have to get a survivor down or your gen regression events are going to add up. And this survivor is more than content to waste as much time at this pallet. However, that was a lot of... She got caught on it.
Oh.
Now the question is, well, okay, so you have a situation here now. If you... The bleed out. This survivor has been hooked once. 8 has not. But if she bleeds out, she can get the hatch. But at the same time, if Kate can sneak back around... No, she can't. She wasn't able to get to a locker in time. If Kate could sneak back around to Claudette, pick them up with 99%, at that point, when she goes down... Wait, no. They still need the 5th gen. Never mind. They still need the 5th gen. I think Ascent is actually going to pull this out.
think,
Yeah, I think Ascent wins. That's crazy. Ascent is actually going to get the W here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is going to be 4K1 for Ascent's killer. And Angels will be bringing home the victory here in trial number 4, winning both sets in round number 1.
So close, though.
They were. That gen was so close. That was the most clutch static blast I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, we were going to go to set number 3, and I was like, okay, let's see how we can do.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see set number 3 as well. That was super close. That was so insanely close. They had it ready to go. But again, the thing is, I think Claudette wasn't in tier 3 from the blast, but she was mending, and she couldn't afford to continue. But I don't know. That might have also been a split-second decision that cost them too. Maybe Claudette should have committed to it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with that now.
It really is. Hindsight 2020. But regardless, GG, WP to Sinners, and congratulations to Ascent on 2 very close, hard-fought games, but resulting in victory. And